If you've ever set foot in the city of Zamira, you'll know one thing is absolutely certain. Food is everywhere. It's the city's lifeblood. Its rhythm hits very soul. From the moment the sun peaks over the horizon, the streets erupt into a symphony of sound and smell. You hear the sizzle of frying oil, the rhythmic clatter of wooden spoons hitting iron pots, and the cheerful haggling of vendors. On every corner, someone is selling something delicious. You'll see a woman roasting fufu bowls over a glowing wire mesh, their starchy aroma filling the air. Just a few steps away, a man is expertly flipping golden buffet into a vat of bubbling oil, each one puffing up perfectly. And then there are the bukas, the heart of Zamira's food scene. These small, bustling roadside eateries are where the city truly comes together. Tired traders, buzzing motorbike riders, and smartly dressed office workers all find themselves squeezed onto rickety wooden benches, sharing steaming plates of jollof rice, fragrant agusi soup, or smooth, dark amala. It's a beautiful, chaotic dance of flavors and people. But amidst all this culinary vibrancy, in the very heart of the sprawling Nyari market, there was one place that stood in a league of its own. A place that, once you ate there, you were ruined for everywhere else. It wasn't the biggest restaurant by any means. It certainly wasn't the fanciest. It was just a simple wooden building with a faded green door and a hand-painted cloth banner that swayed gently in the breeze. The banner read, "Mama Iyo serves the best food in Zamira." Now, at first glance, you might think it was just bold bragging. In a city where every food vendor proudly claimed their food was the best, what could possibly make this humble spot so different? But here's the thing. No one ever disagreed with that sign. Not a single soul. It didn't matter if you arrived in a chauffeur-driven car or on foot with worn-out sandals. Once you sat down at one of Mama Yo's wobbly wooden tables and took that first, unforgettable bite, something inside you shifted. The regulars would whisper about it in hushed, reverent tones. Some swore her jollof rice was richer, smokier, and more profoundly flavorful than any party jollof they had ever tasted in their lives. Others claimed her pepper soup possessed almost magical healing properties. They would tell stories of how fevers vanished after a single bowl, how pounding headaches disappeared, and how aching joints suddenly felt young and spry again. It sounded like folklore, but person after person would nod in agreement, sharing their own miraculous experience. The woman behind this magic was known to everyone simply as Mama Yi. Though her real name was Ronk, she was a plump, middle-aged woman with a face that seemed perpetually fixed in a gentle, knowing smile. Her skin had the warm, comforting brown of roasted peanuts, and her eyes held a calm softness that had a way of making complete strangers feel instantly at ease, as if they'd come home. She moved through her little shop with a quiet, unhurried confidence. Her hands, weathered by years of work, served perfect portions of rice, soup, and stew. It was always just the right amount. Never too much, never too little. Her voice was as soothing as her food, almost melodic. Whether she was calling out an order to the back or chatting with a customer about their day, she spoke with the unmistakable warmth of a mother speaking to her own beloved child. Mama Heo had been running this restaurant for over 10 years, and in that time, it had become a legend. People traveled for miles, undertaking long journeys just for a single meal. Taxi drivers would knowingly detour from their main routes, hoping to squeeze in a quick lunch. Construction workers timed their breaks with precision to align with the quietest moments at the book. Even the most loyal patrons of other eateries, people who had been eating at the same spot for decades, found themselves curious. They'd think, let me just go and see what all this hype is about. But that first visit was always the last time they thought that way. Once they tasted her food, they never went back to their old spots. They were converted, loyal for life. And that was the strange part. The part that no one could quite put their finger on. It wasn't just the incredible taste. Something else, something more mysterious and profound, was at work in that little wooden building. People spent endless hours guessing at her secret. The speculation was rampant. Perhaps she used a rare, undiscovered pepper grown only in a hidden valley. Or maybe she possessed a secret family recipe for a blend of herbs that gave her food its otherworldly quality. But the theories never quite added up, especially when you consider the logistics. For one, nobody had ever seen her buy ingredients. Other vendors made a daily ritual of going to the market at dawn. You'd see them haggling over hefty bags of rice, carefully selecting the plumpest, reddest tomatoes, and bargaining for the most pungent onions. It was a vital part of their business. But Mamayo, no one, not even the earliest rising traders, had ever seen her carrying market baskets or haggling with suppliers. It was as if her ingredients simply materialized. And then there was the matter of supply. Her food never, ever ran out. On the busiest days, when a restaurant was packed from morning until night with a line stretching out the door, there was always enough for everyone. Other places would inevitably hang a sold-out sign by mid-afternoon as their pots emptied. But at Mama Heo's, a fresh, steaming batch of jollof or agusi always seemed to be ready, as if it had just been magically conjured the moment the previous pot was finished. The biggest mystery of all, however, was the cooking itself. No one had ever actually seen her cook. You could stand right outside the shop and hear the familiar sounds of a busy kitchen-y clatter of pots, the sizzle of oil, the gentle bubbling of soups on a stove. But if you peeked inside, you would never catch a glimpse of her standing over a fire. She was always at the counter, smiling, serving, and chatting with her customers. And yet, no one truly questioned it. The mystery was part of the experience, part of the magic. How could you question something that brought so much joy, so much comfort, so much inexplicable healing? Once you tasted Mama Ao's food, all questions melted away, replaced by a simple, profound sense of gratitude. The food was the answer. It was the proof. In Zamira, a city built on food, Mama Ao didn't just serve the best meals. She served a miracle on a plate, every single day. And for the people lucky enough to eat there, that was all that mattered. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales from fascinating places. See you in the next video.